Good afternoon. So I'm going to show you this presentation talking about the representation of a particular sandwich made with composite laminates and with a corrugated core. So the issue is the structural analysis of a sandwich with a non-homogeneous core made with a periodic laminated core. And the aim is to set up the analytical method of homogenization and it's following numerical implementation in a FT code. The methodology used is based on an existent method by Libov, and to extend the original method is only can be applied to isotropic constituents of a sandwich. With our method, we try to upgrade this method also to orthotropic constituents. And then we did validation of this method via FEM non-homogenized models and with experimental data on beams and panels made in our laboratory. So homogeneous core for sandwich are well known, for example, balsa as a wood or polymeric foams like PVC, polyurethane, polystyrene or PMI. In the case of inhomogeneous core, we usually know the honeycomb or more recently the three-dimensional fabric or other types of corrugation or other types of inhomogeneous, for example, corrugated core, where the core is reinforced with a particular structure. In our case, we focused our attention on this type of core, which has a periodic trapezoidal shape. So if you want to model a structure like this to mimic with a realistic finite element model this structure, it would be very tough to model each part of the sandwich, especially for a complex shape. So what we try to do is to replace the real structure with an equivalent one made by unit cell. Each cell has a particular stiffness that is repeated periodically, and so the aim is to obtain the equivalent stiffness of the unit cell, able to reproduce the stiffness of the original and the 3D shape of the corrugated core. The assumption made by and followed by the original method of Libov is based on the resolution of these equations, where that links the displacements in differential equations that links the displacements to the forces applied to the unit cell, and some basic assumptions were done by Libov to solve these equations. The structure, the core is symmetrical with respect to the mid-surface of the sandwich, and L-axis modulus is in the out-of-plane direction is infinite. This means that you cannot assume that indentation or deformation of in the thickness direction is present. And the Mindlin model that links the deformation, the shear deformation, to the deformation of the mid plane. So what we need are basically these constants. We need to recover these constants of the unit cell, the flexural stiffness dx and dy, the shear stiffness dqx and dqy, and the torsional stiffness, and more the flexural Poisson coefficients μx and my. At this stage, so if we, these are the solution of those equations made by Libov, where you see that we have the modulus of elasticity of the core of the skin and all the other geometric parameters of the corrugated core. And what we see is that at the moment we we were able to reproduce the out-of-plane behavior of the unit cell and not in-plane behavior, and we are still working on the possibility to simulate also the shear phenomena. But at this moment, our model works only in the case of out-of-plane behavior, just flexural and torsional behavior. These are the equations that gives the stiffness of the unit cell as a function of the modulus of elasticity of the skin and of the core. We made also some extra assumptions with that skins and corrugated core are symmetrical orthotropic laminate with the same layout and material. This for sake of simplicity in solving the equations. And of course, under assumptions of the classical laminate theory to obtain the matrix of rigidity of each laminate, starting from each patch that constitutes the laminates. After we obtained the previous equations, we implement this analytical model in the shell 99 element given by ANSYS, and this is the final stiffness matrix, where you see that those terms are functions of the previously obtained dx and dy and dxy, and because of the stacking sequence and the assumptions we did about the laminates, we have no interaction between torsional and flexural behavior. And these are the equations that links the Poisson flexural coefficients of the sandwich with the Poisson coefficients of the single laminate, of the single lamina of the sandwich. Well, after this implementation, we did some benchmark, and the first benchmark was done with a complete FEM model. So we did a unit cell with solid elements, the one that you see here, and we applied to this unit cell single moments, or flexural moments, or torsional moments, and we calculate the stiffness of the unit cell with a solid model, coming from a solid model, and we compare this with the analytical, with those given by the analytical model, by these equations. In particular, this is the elastic constants of the material. You see that is a 90-0-90. The stacking sequence is symmetrical, and is a 90-0-90, where the 0 degrees corresponds to these directions, the direction of the axis of the corrugated core. And in fact, the elastic constants in the two directions are quite different. And the other one is the geometry of the core. So this is the model used for benchmark, and this is the element used for the simulation, and this is particular on the mesh. Results. These are just some maps of the displacement of displacement after the application of the loads. As you see, here we have the comparison between the analytical model and the numerical model with the solid elements. As you see here, the comparison is the agreement between the two methods is quite good. The other step was to validate the model with an experimental test. So we manufacture in our laboratory this sandwich. The first attempt was to do a core, reinforced core without anything inside. As you see here, but the problem was to maintain the assumption of infinite modulus in the z direction to avoid indentation. This solution was not able to ensure to us this assumption. So we put inside this PVC. Then you see, for example, the sequence of in manufacturing. And we made these, we put these bars also as a mold for the corrugation, for the corrugated core. And these bars avoid local phenomena during the load of the beams and on the panels, but they have no influence on the global flexural properties of the sandwich, especially if you work with very slender structure. Where shear can be neglected with respect to flexion. So the first step was to obtain the flexural stiffness Gx and Gy, and we used following the ASTM C393. We followed the strategy, a variable span strategy in a 3-point bending test. This strategy is used to reduce the influence of the shear deformation on the test. In fact, as you see here, the deflection of the mid-span is a function of a flexural behavior and on the shear behavior. If you plot this quantity as a function of the L of the span with different span levels, you can obtain, and so each test represents one, each point of this diagram represents one test, one single test. Then the slope of this curve is a function of only of the flexural stiffness. So we obtain this flexural stiffness from a campaign of tests in X and Y directions, and we were able to at the end to obtain these values for Gx and Dy, and comparing, we could compare this with the analytical model and also with the total numerical model, with the numerical model done with the complete units, the total unit cell. And also this, you can see that the comparison gives very good results in terms of agreement. And the variable span strategy, as you see here, was necessary because the apparent stiffness varies with the span length, so it was very important to follow this strategy. Another test was the torsional test used to compare the torsional behavior of the model, and this is the setup used in the laboratory. And also in this case, you see that the rigidity of the sample. I mean, this is not a pure torsional test because it's very difficult to set up such a test. But we can say that it's a torsional dominated behavior, and the rigidity obtained experimentally, also in this case, is in very good agreement with the numerical one in this picture. Last applications were these samples couples the two rigidity, the two stiffness, dx and dy, and so in this case was possible to see how the model works when mixing together two different deformation, one along the corrugated direction and and the normal to the corrugated directions. And the last one, with this setup, it was possible to mix together, to couple together all the three deformations. That is the flexural in the x and y direction, and also torsional direction. As you see here, and also in the previous one, we have a very good agreement between experiments and analytical numerical methods. So, concluding, we tried to set up to upgrade an existing homogenization method used for isotropic materials, to extending these methods also for orthotropic materials used for corrugated core sandwich. This method, this analytical tool, was implemented in shell elements, and benchmarks were done also with FEM analysis and with experiments, both for single case of deformation, for single deformation case, that is where the three components x, y, and xy were uncoupled, but also when these three deformations are coupled. Good agreement were obtained for the cases we studied where very slender structures were used, where we can assume that no shear is present. But at the moment we are working on a further upgrade of the model to consider also deformation due to shear phenomena in the sandwich. That's it.
Thank you.